Hello everybody and welcome back to Sprocket. Today we're going back a quite long time now in the past. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but here we are. We're going to be putting two main guns onto this tank because why not? It's not something we've done in a little while, so let's get right into it without any further ado. I'm probably going to be going for something a little bit Turan-styled, but obviously we're going to need a chunky turret to fit two guns and all other guys you need to make that work inside. So we'll see how this works out. Wish me luck, I guess. And it's time-lapse time. Yes, we are going to be building a tank with two main guns today. It isn't quite the same caliber of gun. Obviously, that's the crazy World of Tanks way of doing things, but unfortunately, where we didn't have to worry about things like crew not being liquid before, we do need to worry about things like crew members having bones. Unfortunately, Jimmy is not an octopus. He cannot fit into any shape of object that his skin will allow. I don't know, man. Maybe that's a mod that someone should make. Octopus Jimmy. Let's have 8 arms. That would greatly improve crew efficiency. Anyway, how are you? Have you subscribed? You should have done that, by the way. If you haven't subscribed, do that. I'm just going to force you now. Every other time I've been like, I don't like doing that. No, I do like doing that. You know what? It makes me feel good about myself seeing numbers go up. Do it. Thank you. Sorry, I don't know what came over me there. That's crazy. It's quite late at night. This took a long time to build. Frankly, this video probably won't be coming out the same day that I'm doing this audio right now, which is not normally the process that this goes through. But here you go. You guys wanted to see a little bit more in the way of freeform parts on these tanks, and I have delivered. I enjoyed doing it, but good lord do I need to save a couple of these and reuse them in the future, because I am not spending so much time on every single video. It is incredibly draining. I have other things going on that I need to be attending to. I have a life outside of YouTube that I have to occasionally deal with. And when you start spending so many hours on these things, not only do I have to crop quite a lot of it out of the time lapse, but also it just starts to interfere. Either way, that aside, we have built what I think is quite a cool tank. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, to be honest. I made the rear of the tank a little bit too long. I needed to cut like 20 centimeters off the back of this tank or something, just because it's not really needed. The engine, the gearbox could fit in a smaller engine bay, so could the fuel tanks. Like, it's all perfectly reasonable to take like 20 centimeters off the back, but I've done so much with the back of the tank that it was just not worth doing anything with it, because it would take so long to put everything back, and ultimately the finished product would probably end up looking worse due to the jankiness of it. So it's a slightly long tank, and I think you'll be fairly able to see that this was designed based off the Turan tank, which I'm probably pronouncing horrifically wrong, but, sue me. But I don't know. It's one of them ones that's fairly close to a replica again that I do every now and then. Maybe I'm just in that spirit right now. This is very similar kind of in building methods, there we go, that's the word, just forgot my English language for a second there, to the tank destroyer that we built in the previous video. In fact, it has a very similar 75mm high velocity cannon mounted on it, and perhaps I should have used the 75mm cannon from that tank destroyer in this. This is a slightly weaker 75mm cannon, which does make sense if you think about it, but it means that for a mid-war tank, this is lacking a little bit in the anti-tank capabilities. I mean, versus infantry, you're probably fine. You've got, they've not been built yet, but you've got 2 hull machine guns, let's just say well, one of them is actually bigger than the other. So let's say one's a 50 caliber machine gun and one is a regular 303 caliber machine gun. And then you've got a 57mm cannon, which is rapid firing, and also a 75mm cannon, which is still relatively quick firing. And the cat is about to sit on my lap and make editing the remainder of this video incredibly difficult. Here she comes. She's not going to make enough noise for you to hear her, but just know that she is currently helping by brushing her face up against the boom arm of my microphone. Hello. Here's some 3D parts that I made earlier. I made those hooks for the tank destroyer in the previous video after I stopped recording. And I'm reusing those. Look at me go. I said that I should be reusing those, and within the same video, like 2 minutes later, we're already reusing 3D parts. It's not often that a day goes so well. Whew, almost a Freudian slip there. Anyway, where were we? I don't even know after that one, which was a bit of a wild commentary point. I can't lie. That's one of the commentaries of all time. Last time we did this, I think, was a medium tank before I even did like all of the scenarios in every video. It was on. I remember doing it in ambush. It was like an early war Italian thing, and it didn't look great, to be entirely honest. It was kind of quirky in almost the same ways that this is quirky, but obviously I would like to believe that I've learned a little bit from then. And that this is the better tank. But if you've been around for long enough that you remember that Italian 2-gun tank destroyer, then let me know in the comment section below, which one do you prefer? Do you like the new one? Do you like the old one? It could be either, and I'm not going to be offended either way because I made both of them. Turret time. Yes, as some of you may have noticed, I have also modeled the suspension as best as I could. I am not a mechanic. I have a very, very basic understanding of suspension, and I understand what a leaf spring is, and I know that we don't have it in Sprocket, and so I put leaf springs on this tank. Not enough, and they're probably not thin enough to actually be effective, but you can't really see them because they're hidden by the connecting rods and the weird beam that goes over them both. So you can't really see the leaf springs, but they are there, I promise you. If you download this tank file, which will be linked in the tank repository in the Discord in the description below, then you can have a look for yourself, and you can see that there is, in fact, leaf springs on this tank, which it'll be really cool if we do get leaf springs. I believe they're planned, if I'm not mistaken, so that's going to be interesting to see how that works, whether, yeah, I don't know. I just really like the look of leaf springs on tanks. I think it's because a lot of tanks that have leaf springs are kind of less, how does one say, refined than the alternatives. Obviously, you've got the Sherman using its HVSS and other such suspension systems, and then your like derivatives of Christie suspension, like the Crusader, and I believe the T-34 used a variety of the Christie suspension, which was one of the suspensions of all time. I mean, damn, could it make a tank go fast? But unfortunately, otherwise, it was a bit of an evolutionary dead end for suspension. That thing, it was good while it lasted, though, and it led to some very, very cool tanks, such as one of my little guilty pleasures when it comes to tank history, which is the Covenanter, because it's just a categorically bad tank. I shouldn't like it, but I do, you know, I do like it, despite the fact that it's terrible. I have seen the Covenanter in real life at the Tank Museum in Bovington, and it's cool. I'm sorry. I know it's bad. It's cool. It follows the same kind of principle as the, what's a bad but cool tank that I can think of in the space of a second that won't offend literally everyone? I know, the T-95, or the T-28, whichever one you want to call it, the American super heavy tank, categorically didn't work very well. Not a great tank. Probably a waste of resources. Would have just been destroyed by an airstrike, most likely. If to be fair, anyone could get planes into the air with the late war American Air Force being the absolute monster it was. But that said, it's a very cool tank. I love the T95 / the T28, but I can acknowledge its flaws, and that's the fun in tank history. It's because you don't have to like the best tank. You know, if you're watching F1, for instance, it feels like a shame not to like the best team, because you're never going to see anybody win in your team that you like. That doesn't stop me from supporting Williams, by the way, but that's just because they have my name. But long story short, you can like any tank you want, regardless of how rubbish it is. I'm sure a lot of you watching this like the L333C, which is categorically a terrible tank. It's a tank so terrible, they called it a tankette, because they didn't have the balls to call it a full tank, because it was terrible. And it deservedly is remembered as such. But it was revered by nerds in the future, so you know, there's ups and downs, aren't there? Yeah, I do enjoy the L333. It's just amusing knowing that tank was defeated by like wooden sticks. You could literally just shove a big wooden rod into the running drive, and not the running drive, sorry, the running wheels, and just flip it over. It was so light that like 3 or 4 men could just flip it over. The cat is currently absolutely baffled by the Audacity audio track. Honestly, if you could see this cat right now, you would absolutely love this. Hang on, let me see if I can take a photo of the cat looking at the Audacity trace and get it into the video in post. So if I've managed to pull that off, then there is the cat on screen now. If not, then there is no cat on the screen now. But yeah, Human Tetris time, everybody's favorite time in the video, because Human Tetris is unanimously just a great feature in these videos. Sorry, I'm trying to get a photo of the cat, which is why my commentary slightly fell off. I think I've got one. That'll do. But yeah, that's pretty much our tank done. It's gonna struggle with the scenarios, to be entirely honest. Definitely gonna struggle with fields, and likely gonna struggle with defense too. We've tended to do better in defense of recent times, but I feel like those were mostly flukes. So we'll see how we do. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? I told you to subscribe earlier. You should subscribe now before we get into the scenarios. Okay, scenarios time. Okay, here is the finished product. This has been a long time in the making. This one took a little while to get right. So, we've modeled some suspension. I don't know how realistic it is, but there you go. We've got 2 cannons on here. We have a 57mm and a 75mm as the main cannon. We didn't quite have enough room to kind of... Hi, guys. We didn't quite have enough room to get 2 75s in there, really, so this is a pretty decent compromise, and as you can see, it's an interestingly shaped tank, but I don't think it's unrealistic. I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't know if I like the way it looks so much as just feel proud of the fact that it looks like it could kind of almost be real. This isn't gonna do particularly well on fields either, I don't think. We don't really have enough penetration to go through consistently the front of one of the heavy tanks, but we can give it a shot. We have 3 different fire modes, so we can fire just the main 75, just the 57, or the both at the same time. That's the word that I was going for. And as you can see, it's relatively mobile. It only weighs 22 tons, so that's not too bad at all. But yeah, there's not really a lot else to show you guys other than to take it into combat and see what happens. But as always, before we struggle through fields, we have this nice little June scenario that we can take on. We shouldn't really even need the 75 too much here. We're going to try and open fire with the 57 first. Then we got the 75. We can just mix our targets up so that we are getting the most fire rate possible out of this tank. That's kind of the biggest benefit, I guess. When you're fighting weaker targets like this, you can kind of maximize. We have lost, I think that's our 75 loader that we've lost there. Oh, someone's going through, and I'm not entirely sure. They're just kind of blasting through the front, which is interesting, and it looks like I may have lost the 57's mount. There we go. We have one. I'm interested to see how they're actually getting through so easily here. This should be 80 millimeters thick, so I must have missed something, because I don't think they have 80 millimeters of penetration, unless I'm mistaken. But either way, we won, and we've learned something that we can take into fields. Okay, we might have managed to fix that armor weak spot, but it doesn't really matter on this level because our armor is not going to be sufficient versus those heavy tanks. There are just 6 of us, and we have to take on quite a number of heavy tanks and light tanks. I am not hugely confident about our chances with this 75. We may need a little bit of cheese to play on our side here. Okay, so we immediately have the problem of the tiger up on the hill there. We're gonna need to get closer, but because he's in an elevated spot, there's no real path to get to him that doesn't lead us straight out into the open. And for that reason, we're probably just going to do what we did in the tank destroyer video and just kind of go for it and hope here. We aren't going to go through the front of that thing particularly easily. I mean, I can take pot shots, but I doubt we're going through. And just, please, whatever you do, don't hit me. I would really appreciate if you just keep missing. That would be great. We can't hide behind this hill like we could in the tank destroyer, but this next hill may be our salvation. If we could just get down into this little dip and get low enough, this might work. Maybe. So we have good and we have bad news. The good news is this hill is protecting me. The bad news is I have no allies that have come over here to get him to turn his turret away from me, which means we're kind of back in square one. I alerted him, I tried to take a pot shot, and now we have no guns. That's not good. We have a couple more of these tanks to go, but not as many as I would like. And I am not fancying our chances. Come on, get this. No. Oh, he saw me so quickly. That's not good at all. I'm just going to have to ask you to not shoot me and let me get to your side without you turning your hull like that. That's kind of annoying, buddy. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Just let me kill you. Let me kill you. It's fine. It's fine. Please, be nice. Be nice to me. I need this. I need this. Oh, no. Tell you what, there is one other way to win this level. I mean, we clearly don't stand a single chance of killing these tigers, so we may as well just make a run for it, right? This is an ungodly amount of cheese, but it is nothing I'm above. I am fully on the level of this amount of cheese. Come on. Come on. Ooh, that was bad. We just got hit. Okay, there's a tiger there, and we don't really have a good angle against him, which is why he's hitting us. If we just get into this dip on the other side of the hill, it's much closer than I thought it was. We stand another chance. We've got to get to that boulder there. Still getting shot at. Still getting fired at. They're getting really, really close. No! Yep, we have no tanks left. That is that run. I genuinely don't know what I can do. We have nothing. We genuinely have nothing. I can't fit a longer gun in here. A bigger cannon doesn't really make sense with the breach that I have. And if I make more armor on this thing. We're going to really hamper the mobility, which is our biggest strength at the moment. There's really nothing I can do other than just try again. Okay, we're going for the same old strategy, and this time we're just going to rely on a little bit of lady luck to pull this one off, and I'm sure we will be just fine, and all we need to do is have a little bit of faith, and it'll all work out in the end. Nothing can possibly go wrong. I've gone a little bit wide here. I need to get into a little bit of a better spot. I've avoided that one. Accelerate, accelerate. Come on, come on, come on. Ooh, close. That's really close. Please just keep missing. Keep fluffing the shots. I can just abuse the AI all day like this. Come on. Down into the little valley here. And I think we'll just about be safe. All we need to do is hope that he sees an ally and looks away. Okay. Nothing is happening. So, we're gonna go for plan B. Oh my goodness. Right as I said that, he looked away. I just need to get one shot. No! Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, plan B it is. We are going to go absolutely crazy here, and we're just gonna hope that this guy does nothing about us pushing up. That should be him dead. Dip into this little ravine, and we should now be safe for the immediate sense. Okay, that tiger we hit in the side is definitely dead. This tiger, we're gonna swap to firing both guns, and we're just going to push up this hill and go for it. Absolutely no holds barred. Take the shot. Make sure it's good. Okay. That is really, really nice to have out of the way. Okay, we have tigers in the field over there. This guy has seen us, but we had enough time. That's not good. Get back, 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 get back. Okay, that was a little bit too close for comfort, but we survive. Be cautious of the light tanks here, and just... Oh, that's not gone through. Oh, man. This is not good. Okay, we do not have any advantages here. We have really good gun depression, but we don't need it for once on a hill. It's just not steep enough of a hill. Okay, we have another tiger just here. Need to be very careful that this one doesn't do what the other one did and see me while I don't see him. Okay. That tiger over there is still a problem, but we have only one heavy tank to worry about now. I think just that guy. Oh, that's a bad miss. That's a really bad miss. Oh, no. This guy was perfectly fine. What was he doing? Why weren't you helping, man? Oh, he was in such a good spot as well. Look at this. Come on. Boom. That's the last heavy tank. First light tank, dealt with. Man, if I had been in the spot that this guy was in, I could have done so much. In fact, I am doing so much, because I am in the spot that this guy was in. I don't know what I've just done, but I think I've killed 2? Probably? There's one more, but he's currently just shooting at the corpse of his friend, which is a bit grim, but Can I get the engine bay? Yes! Yes! Oh, baby! That is a victory. I will take it. We're going to try defense, but I don't know how much confidence I have. So far, the 57mm cannon that we have on this has proved precisely useless. So we'll see how that develops as this mission goes on, but I can't imagine it's going to redeem itself here. Okay, that is one of the heavy tanks. Can we get that through the side? You'd hope so. Not at that angle, though. We can get. That looks like a kill. Nice. And we're going to have tanks in front of us any second now, such as that guy that we need to be very, very careful of. Hi. Lower hull, please. Yes. That's such a good shot. You there. I reckon you're not going to be a problem at all, because you don't know where I am. There we go. Hang on. You're still alive? How are you still alive? Please turn properly, tank. Goodness me. Quick, before we die, take him out with us. No, we can put out this fire. Okay. There we go. We are still alive. We are not operating at full efficiency, but okay, now we're gone. That's it? That's everything we had? Okay, this guy still has a gun. I really didn't think we were doing this badly. We are down to just this half-alive tank. I don't know which cannon is still firing, but I'm really hoping it's the 75 and not the 57. Please, no. Okay, there's so many enemies left. Okay, we just need to kill as fast as possible and hope that we can get back into cover in time. That is just an awful start. Got more where that came from. We can maybe claw this back. I'm not entirely confident, I can't lie. It is pretty difficult to hit them when they're going at full whack. That looked like a good shot, but it did nothing. That's a much better shot, and it still did nothing. This is just the light tank. Oh my gosh, come on. That looked good as well. Nope. Nope. Nothing we can do. Okay, well, on that note, I don't think there's a single realm and possibility where this tank is defeating this scenario. They fire too quickly, there's too many of them, and we just don't have enough fire rate, penetration, armor, anything you would need to survive on this level. So we'll call it there. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this one, please have a like, comment, and or subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to see me build in the future, either in the comment section below, or you can join my Discord and leave it in the suggestions. Sponsored by Cookie's own channel, that's currently going on. But anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. And as always, a huge thank you to YouTube super supporters Dougie Ott, Stug3, Edwin, Cody Fox, Yoki, Marlon Gwecken, Peter Holmes, Peter Seifert, ChemGem135, Terra, and of course, a huge thank you to all of the regular tier supporters as well.